Okay, another video, and this one is about outer joints. This is a topic that is sometimes confusing to students. So I've given you several different examples here um, to try to get through this topic. Hang in there, it's not that complicated, even though it sometimes confuses people. So we've already looked at inner joins, like this one right here. Here is a query that lists the first and last names of faculty members and the names of the section that they teach. Let's run this query and see what we get. So here's the first and last name of Andrew Banks. He teaches this section here on Mondays and Wednesdays and so on. What we're doing is walking the relationship between these two tables over here. Faculty member has a primary key of ID, and over in section we have a taught by ID, which is the foreign key pointing over to the faculty member. Remember that a section is an offering of a course at a date and a time, like IT 110 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1:50 in the afternoon, something like that. Okay. So one of the things about this is that we've taken the faculty table and we interjoined the section table on section.taught ID, taught by ID equals faculty.id. By the way, I often capitalize my table names and attribute names, but it's not necessary. If you have MySQL set up right, it doesn't care about capitalization, and I set it that way. In any case, so we're picking up first and last name from the faculty table and section.name out of the section table, renamed it section, and then we join these two tables to get that. Now, remember, one of the important characteristics of an inner join is a record is in the output only if there is a match on both sides of the table. So for example, if we had faculty members, and there are some in this database, who don't have any sections at all, they're excluded from this join, because when we look for the faculty, when we get to the faculty member in the table and we look for a section that matches it, we don't find any. So there's no match on both sides, and so that faculty member would be excluded from the output of the query. There are times when the requirement of the query is to list people who don't have sections, for example. And to do that, I'm scrolling down here, you create an outer join. So here it's basically the same query, last name, first name, section name as section. The difference is when we joined from faculty to section, I coded a left outer join. Instead of up here, we just had an inner join. The outer join says, because it's on the left, the table on the left here, even though it's above it, we think of it as being the left-hand table, we're saying we want every record from the faculty table, including faculty records that have no section. Okay, so we are guaranteed that we'll get every row out of the faculty table. So let's go ahead and run this query. And look what we get. We still have Andrew Banks teaching a couple of sections here. But now we get an output from this query we didn't have before, and that's this Russell Burke. He's a faculty member who has no sections at all. Now, we can pick up his name out of the faculty table because we've got a record for him in the faculty table. But what do we do for the section table? Because there isn't one. So what MySQL does in all the other relational databases like Microsoft SQL Server is they put a null in the field when there's no matching record. So we can tell by looking at this that Russell Burke is in fact a faculty member but teaches no sections. And if we scroll down farther, there's going to be some more faculty members down here who also have no sections that they teach. So they're included in the output of the query because we said left outer join. So an outer join brings in all the rows from one table even if there's no match on the other side of the relationship. So we found records in the faculty table like this Diane Fraser here. We found a record for her here, but no section, so we output her once with a null in the section, which is the indicator that she has no sections. She's not teaching anything right now. Now another way of looking at it, a different kind of business requirement that needs to use an outer join in order to satisfy it, is this kind of query, the third one in this example. Show only faculty who don't have any sections. That is people who are not teaching. So to do that, we do exactly the same query as we had up here. We do a left outer join of faculty into section. But we add this where clause down here that says where the section ID is null. That means we're only going to pull out records that will have a faculty member who doesn't teach. Let's run that query. Now we get this abbreviated list. It doesn't have so many names in it as before because none of these people are teaching anything. Notice on this query I also dropped off the section name that would have been here following first name. It is up here, see? No point in bringing in section because there isn't going to be any. Since we did a where on section ID is null, there's no section record to display. We might as well not have the column. So what we get then just is a list of faculty members who aren't teaching right now. So just to summarize quickly, an outer join is meant for a situation where you need to see, for example, all faculty members, including the ones who don't teach, or only the faculty members who don't teach. You need an outer join enable to be able to do that kind of query.